Imagine I could show you a way to be able to eat and drink whatever you want and never gain a pound. If you think diet and exercise are the most important aspects of weight loss, here's what the diet industry, is not telling you. Maybe you're struggling to lose weight. Maybe you've done the diets. Maybe you've done the exercise and you're simply not getting results. Or you may lose the weight only to gain it all back and then some. It's frustrating, I know. I've been there. I've done the keto, the intermittent fasting. I've done it all, and you don't need to worry, because today I'm going to share with you the hidden secrets that I've discovered to weight loss that no one is talking about. I'll discuss 9 tips how to really lose weight for leptin resistance. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Please be sure that you subscribe, click that bell so that you get all of my notifications for the future uploads. I'm Dr. Janine Bowring, best-selling author, TV personality, researcher, naturopathic doctor, and the proud mother of 5 children. Yes, 5. Please leave your questions and comments below. I love to get back to all of your questions and comments. It really is fantastic, the feedback and the interaction that we have. And if you could give me a big thumbs up on this video and stay tuned right to the end, because I've got a lot of tips for you, it would be fantastic. So let's get right into it. So what are the 9 tips how to really lose weight, especially when we're talking about leptin resistance? Tip number 1 is to decrease the carbohydrates in the diet. And this is important because triglycerides actually make us make more fat from the carbohydrates that we're ingesting. And the more fat cells we have, the more leptin is secreted, and this happens about 4 hours after our last meal of the day. So if you are gorging on carbohydrates, especially in the evening, after dinner, and before bedtime, this is horrible for that leptin resistance. And our leptin is only secreted when our insulin levels drop, and they are low and in a dark setting. So it's important that you are stopping eating and decreasing those carbs, and especially at bedtime and after the sun has gone down. Tip number 2 is to increase the healthy fats in your diet. So we want to offset the omega-6s and the seed oils and all the things that are very inflammatory. We want to have more of the healthier fats. So avocados, again, in moderation. But what I really love is seafood, which is fantastic, especially for that DHA, the docosahexaenoic acid, as well as fish oils. And sometimes you need to supplement. Just make sure that you're getting more of that DHA. We will share links below for a great fish oil supplement that you can rely on. Tip number 3 is maintaining a healthy caloric intake. So when you're doing the fasting and you're overdoing the fasting, the intermittent fasting, or you're severely doing the calories in, calories out, you're decreasing your caloric intake over time, you don't want your body and your brain to send that signal of famine to the brain, to the hypothalamus. The reason being is that this will now offset that leptin balance. Now your thyroid will start to slow down and it down regulates your metabolism. You don't want to do that. You want to maintain healthy calories, but one of my tips here is to allow for eating windows throughout the day, meaning no snacking. Yes, the snacking has got to stop. You have to stop spiking your insulin every, a lot of people every 30 minutes. They're going for a little bit of this, a little bit of that in terms of their snacks. Not so good for your leptin. So you want to give yourself breaks throughout the day. You want to get hungry, and you want your circadian rhythms to be on check. Also make sure that you are getting enough minerals in your diet, because this is, again, one of those hidden secrets. So check it out in a video I taught, and I share a great drink that you can make, an electrolyte drink, in the video called Hidden Secrets to Magnesium Deficiency. And in that video, I talk about maintaining that electrolyte balance to make sure that it helps you through those periods when you're not eating. And often we go to food to help to satisfy our need for our minerals in our diet. Tip number 4 on how to really lose weight is don't over exercise. So We don't want to stress out our adrenal glands. So light walking, yoga and things are great. Once your leptin resistance is fixed, you can go to some more HIIT training, as well as a little bit more exercise and some heavy weightlifting, which is fantastic to maintain our muscle mass. But you don't want to overdo it, especially with the cardio. This can really offset that leptin signaling to the brain. Also, when and where you work out is important. So exercising ideally in that window about 5 to 7 p.m. is when I aim for to really maximize the circadian timing of when we get the best energy for our exercise and the most benefits in terms of our muscle mass as well. And we know that our muscles are our big fat burners. Tip number 5 is to cover your skin and protect your eyes, especially from blue light spectrum. And this is important after the sun goes down. There's something in our skin, but also in our eyes called melanopsin. And this is important when we talk about leptin signaling. And it's something that is a blue light receptor. So the more blue light from all of our devices that we inundate our eyes and our body and our skin, if our skin is not covered up, especially after the sun has gone down, this is a problem because the blue light is meant in the morning from our natural sunshine and seeing the sunrise to turn off our melatonin. So you can see how all the circadian rhythm and the cycles of that hormonal balance that's happening in the brain is very much related to having that proper balance. All of this blue light that we inundate our bodies with is not good for our leptin resistance and ultimately is making us fat and all the more fatter. So limit that blue light exposure and make sure that you are in as much darkness as possible, especially after dinner, because leptin is secreted the most for about 4 hours after your last meal of the day. Tip number 6 is to get the morning sun. So I alluded to this earlier. Getting up, seeing that sunrise is one of the best things that you can do for your health, for your circadian rhythm. It's something that I've studied in centenarians, and this was always, they get up with the sun and they go to bed soon after the sun goes down. And there's a reason that they live well into their hundreds and they're healthy. They don't have things like cancer and all of these other diseases that we have here, in our modern world. It's something that we can really learn from the centenarians. And this is one of those things, getting that early morning sun. So especially from sunrise till about 10 a.m. is the best time to take a look at that sun and expose as much of your body as possible to that early morning sun. Tip number 7 is grounding. Make sure that you are connecting with the earth, and this means having our bare skin, our bare feet on the earth. This connects with the magnetism of the earth, allows for those important electrons from the earth to come into our body, and the leptin in our brain is actually the master controller of our electron status in our body. So again, the brain is always reading, where are we at? How many electrons do we have? And this is important for that leptin signaling. Tip number 8 is to fix the leaky gut. So we need to decrease that overall inflammation in our body, making sure that we get enough vitamin D3. So again, that sun exposure. And if we don't have access to the sun, depending on where we live, it's important that we are getting food sources of vitamin D3. So seafood is fantastic, but also if we need to supplement, and some of us do need to supplement, make sure that it's a vitamin D3, which is important. Also increasing our DHA, again, from seafood, from fish, and that is docosahexaenoic acid, which is important to be able to allow for our cell membranes to act in the way that they should in relationship to the magnetism and the light from the sun that we are hopefully getting every day. And also increase your selenium. So selenium, the great source is Brazil nuts. So eating 2 to 3 Brazil nuts per day is really important for fixing that leaky gut as well to help your leptin resistance. Tip number 9 is cold exposure. So this is something that we can all do. Don't get so comfortable, especially if you live in a colder climate. You've got to get out and you've got to get cold. And the research has shown that this actually helps our leptin receptors. This is one of those things that you can do to help to get that body weight off more quickly. I will continue to share tips and hacks on how to do this in a previous episode called The Daily Habits to Prevent Depression During Stressful Stressful Times Part 2. So check out that video here on YouTube. That's where I did the challenge of the cold exposure. So I actually dunked my head in the ice water. It's something that's so simple. It's free. You just have to have some ice water, and it's something that you can do every single day to help with your leptin resistance and help get off that stubborn weight that you're holding on to. So if you've been struggling with weight loss, I hope this video offered you some new insights and gave you some tips that you can start using right away to help on your weight loss journey. Let me know below if you have any questions or comments about what I covered in this episode, and keep me posted on how you're doing on your weight loss journey. Be sure to share this video if it will help someone that you know with the information that I shared. And if this video helped you to learn something new today, please give me a big thumbs up. I love your support, and it helps us to continue on with our channel. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you always get my newest and latest uploads. Remember to take care of your good health and to do it naturally. Thanks for watching today.